Hey everyone, if you're loving these real-life stories about life lessons hidden in messy moments, make sure to smash that subscribe button and hit the bell so you don't miss the next one. These are the kinds of stories that pack a punch in the middle of total disorder. And believe me, this one is a tough one to hear. My name is Alex, and I figured I'd seen just about every type of disrespect and heartbreak out there, until that one evening hit me. The get-together was meant to be low-key. Just a handful of buddies, some drinks, tunes playing, and easy chats. No big deal. But let's be real, nothing positive ever kicks off at a chill house party, right? She was right there. My girlfriend, Mia. We'd been together for nearly 4 years. She was usually cool-headed, put together, gorgeous, and quick-witted when she felt like it. But on that night, Mia chose to let everyone see exactly how little she valued me. It began small. A few offhand comments, light jabs. I brushed them off, but things ramped up quick. Somebody asked her about me with the whole group listening, and that's when she dropped it. You know, she announced, making sure her voice carried across the room. Being with Alex was a huge error. Everything stopped. Her statement hung in the air, sharp and brutal, cutting right through the noise. I felt a quick sting of humiliation, but it faded fast because I caught on to what was really going on. This wasn't playful teasing. It wasn't irony. She was straight up putting me down in front of everybody. She was aiming for laughs, for gasps. And above all, she wanted to make me look small. I grinned slowly, keeping my cool, drawing out the pause. Do you actually feel that way? I asked quietly, in a voice that pulled every gaze my way. Mia's confident grin wavered a bit. Well, it's obvious to everyone. I leaned in, holding her stare, and said loud and clear so the whole room could hear. You might see me as an error, Mia, but the reality is I'm the guy who stuck by you, lifted you up, and never bailed when others did. That sets the bar. And if anybody here wants to see what real loyalty, patience, and character look like, just look at me right now. Dead silence. Folks squirmed in their seats, caught off guard by my response. Mia's buddies shot looks at each other, seeing right away that the vibe had flipped. Her grin disappeared entirely. She never saw me pushing back in public coming. Not with rage, not by embarrassing her, but with straight facts. And right then, I knew the night had shifted from just hanging out to straightening things out, standing my ground, and proving that respect isn't handed out, it's something you command. Mia blinked, suddenly at a loss for words as everyone took in what I'd said. The chuckles she was chasing never showed up. Instead, I sensed all the focus on us, eyes bouncing back and forth, and the whole mood of the party started shifting. She attempted a shaky laugh to bounce back. Come on, Alex. It was only a joke. Don't make a big thing out of it, she said, her tone a little unsteady. I shook my head, staying steady and in control. No joke, I answered. Not remotely. You figure trashing someone as an error around their friends is no harm, but comments like that say way more about who's saying them than who they're aimed at. The awkwardness hung heavy. Mia's friends murmured to each other, catching on that she'd totally misread the room. She'd banked on backup, giggles, or nobody caring. Instead, she got straightforward truth, composure, and total confidence. I kept going, quiet but firm. Look, Mia, I've messed up plenty in life, but standing here speaking my truth and keeping my self-respect, that's no mess up. That's a decision. And certain things people only learn when it hits hard. Her cheeks turned bright red, gaze flicking to the ground then back to me. I spotted the struggle on her face, the side of her that loved being in charge and stirring things up, now shrinking under the attention she'd craved. I didn't raise my voice. No accusations needed. My steady assurance spoke volumes over any fight. Folks picked up on it. The space felt tighter, the vibe heavier. Even the neutral people started tuning in, feeling the balance tip. Then the big one. I scanned the room and added, and if anybody thinks this is just drama, keep in mind, respect comes easy until it's thrown away. After that, it comes with a price. Tonight, Mia found out what that price is. Quiet settled in. Even the tune seemed to drop low as she took it in. The party wasn't the same anymore. What started as a relaxed hangout turned into a clear example of humility, being called out, and facing fallout. And I stayed there, cool, composed, unaffected by the fake grins or quiet talks. I wasn't mad. I wasn't out to wound her. I was simply making it clear that respect isn't up for debate and self-worth can't be dismissed without payback. The rest of the night stayed awkward, loaded with an vibe Mia couldn't steer. She pushed fake smiles, jumped into talks, pretended everything was fine, but it rang empty. Her friends huddled and whispered, glancing her way, seeing she'd totally blown the read on things. I kept my chill, flowing through the party naturally, letting the quiet and stares handle it for me. Sometimes standing your ground doesn't require yelling or fury. Sometimes the real strength comes from staying composed. And that night, that strength was all mine. A bit later, one of her friends sidled up and muttered, "You totally put her in her place." I gave a small nod, letting it sit. It wasn't about flexing. It was about drawing lines, taking back my respect, and letting honesty outshine the digs. Mia's tries to brush it off got more and more strained. Every push to rebuild her vibe flopped because the power had completely changed. She saw she couldn't steer the room or spin the story anymore. That same confident grin that used to shield her now left her exposed. Then the closing bit. As I got ready to head out, I leaned in close and said low but clear, "Next time, pause before turning someone into the punchline. Respect isn't a choice. It's something you build. And when you take it lightly, there are repercussions." Her eyes went wide. She started to speak, but nothing came out. The room had already taken in the point. Everyone who'd heard the first jab now got the turnaround. The control had shifted, and she felt it. I left the party steady, without a backward glance. No need to yell or drag it out. The facts had handled it, and the fallout followed its path. By pushing back with self-respect and straightforwardness, I'd fixed the story right there in front of everybody without dropping my cool once. Weeks down the line, buddies mentioned Mia steered clear of mocking people in groups altogether. She quit trying to put others down, and even her circle said she'd finally gotten the message about boundaries. Some folks figure payback has to be loud, furious, or over the top. Reality is, the strongest way to set things right is calm, exact, and impossible to argue with. And that night, with everyone watching, I showed exactly that. Respect counts. Self-worth counts.